What is up guys, welcome back. As you are moving forward into the second half of this year, I thought now is the perfect time to check out some of the best brand new free-to-play games that actually released in the first half of 2024. We got so many games on different genre, but in this video I'm gonna include first-person shooters, third-person shooters, action adventure games, single-player games, racing games and everything in between. So you're definitely gonna find something that you like and enjoy. And all of them are brand new free-to-play games that you can download right now for completely free, and they're available on Steam and some games available on Epic Games Store. So we got a total of 20 awesome games to check out in our today's video. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. Alright, starting at number 20, we got a pretty unique looking game called Astra Knights of Veda. It's a very awesome looking 2D side-scrolling action RPG with a bit of a dark tone and a unique story. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of this type of 2D side-scrollers, but the unique art style in this game looks absolutely stunning in my opinion. And the game was actually released alongside the mobile versions, meaning you can play the game both on Android and iOS. And right now on Steam, the game is sitting at mixed reviews, but if you're into this type of side-scrolling RPG games, it's definitely a nice little free-to-play game to try out right now. Alright, next up we got a brand new title that just released onto early access on Steam, and that is called Battle Crush. It's a free-to-play multiplayer action brawler kinda similar to battle royales, where you have to fight against other enemies and try to be the last man standing. And in this game you can play with up to 30 players online. And the game also represents pretty cool set of mythological figures like Hades, Poseidon, Medusa, and all these characters comes with unique set of skills and abilities that you can use in the battlefield. And also, other than the typical battle royale mode, we got a couple of more other game modes, including a brawl mode and a 1v1 duel mode. Overall, it's a nice little game that you can definitely try out right now, and it's also having more than 1000 plus daily concurrent players, which is also pretty good. System requirements are also very much acceptable. Moving on, next up we got a brand new third-person extraction shooter that kind of goes under a lot of people's radar right now, and that is a game called Hooked. It's a free-to-play PvP/PvE extraction shooter where you and your teammates is dropping into this beautiful island, and you have to explore and find different ancient treasures. Along the way, you will have to fight against various type of enemy hordes, different obstacles, tons of environmental puzzles, and ultimately successfully extract from the island with all the treasure that you can carry. Overall, it's a very fun game to play with your friends, and you can play with up to 3 of them online. But despite everything, the game is sitting at mixed reviews on Steam. But if you're into this type of extraction shooters, I would recommend you guys to try the game out. Despite the game's initial release back in 2023, DC2 is a game that pretty recently went free to play on all platforms, which I feel like I have to mention in our today's video. So it's basically an online social deduction horror survival type of a game where you can either play as an innocent player and try to stay alive the whole game, or you can play as the curse and try to hunt down all the innocent players. The game is definitely not as popular as the first game, which is still a very popular game even in 2024, but I would still say the DC2 is a pretty solid choice if you're into these type of titles. Right now sitting at mixed reviews on Steam. System requirements are also very much acceptable in 2024. Rumble Club is a super fun, casual, kind of a unique battle royale style of a game with a very simple goal where you just have to punch your friends and try to be the last man surviving. The game lets you play completely solo, or you can play with up to 19 other players on this ever-changing map and the different challenges you have to face throughout the game. And you can simply punch, push, throw and bait your opponents, and at the same time eating cupcakes to get your health back when you got damaged. It's a pretty fun, casual battle royale style of a game to play with your friends, and right now you can play the game for completely free on Steam. Moving on, next up we got Tap Wizard 2, a really awesome top-down action RPG that lets you play as a powerful wizard. It's a completely a single-player shooter with bit of a RPG elements attached to it, and also got a pretty awesome pixelated art style, which I'm a big fan of. The game lets you choose between variety of perks, spells and traits, and you have to fight against various hordes of enemies using the right spell at the right time. It's a very awesome little game, right now having mostly positive reviews on Steam, and on top of all that, the game can actually run even if you have a pretty low to mid-range laptop or a PC. If you're someone who enjoys playing horror games, our next game is definitely for you, and that is the Puppet Master, the game. It's a free-to-play online multiplayer kind of a shooter style of an action game that celebrates the 30 years of legacy of the classic movie Puppet Master. And throughout this game, you can revisit iconic locations, select from large roster of playable characters from the movies, and on top of all that, you can play across 4 different multiplayer game modes, which include game modes like Manhunt, Thief Co-op, Puppet 4 and Puppet Master. I would say this game may not be for every everyone, but if you're a fan of the series, you can definitely enjoy the game right now. It's pretty popular on Steam, having more than 1000 plus reviews, and they are very positive. And overall, you don't need to have a powerful PC to play this game. Next up, we got a super awesome free-to-play first-person shooter, and that is the Pixel Gun 3D PC edition. It's a very fun, casual multiplayer first-person shooter with insane amount of game modes, tons of customization, and also come with a separate battle royale mode. It was already a pretty popular game available on Android and iOS, and finally available on Steam, and a lot of people seem to like it, enjoying it. But for me at least, I would say if you are someone who's pretty competitive when it comes to first-person shooters, this game is probably not for you. But if you're someone who's just looking for a fun little first-person shooter to play, especially if you're just a beginner, this game is awesome. Definitely check it out. And also, you don't have to have a powerful PC to play this game. You can definitely enjoy the game with a pretty low-end PC or a laptop. If you're into single-player action adventure horror style of a game, next up we got the Bendy Secret of the Machine. It's a pretty short casual horror game with bit of a exploration, puzzle solving, and a little bit of a dark tone attached to it. And you do get that same quality from the other Bendy games from the franchise, but this is a completely free-to-play experience and also a very short game compared to some of the other games on the franchise. But nevertheless, it's a very cool game to try out right now. It's having more than 1300 plus reviews, and they are very positive on Steam. Moving on to number 11, we got Slapshot Rebound, a free-to-play physics-based arcade sports game where you just literally play ice hockey, which is pretty cool and very rare to find these days, especially on a video game. It's basically a 3v3 multiplayer game, but you can completely enjoy the game either solo, duo, or trio, or you can play custom games up to 12 players online, which is really awesome. Right now the game is pretty popular on Steam, having more than 10,000 plus reviews, and they are very positive. So if you're just looking for a fun little, a very unique sport experience, this game is highly recommended. Alright, moving on to our top 10 games. Next up, we got a pretty cool little comedy style of a stealth game that very recently got popular on Steam, and that is called Wercleaner. In this game, you play as a cute little werewolf called Kyle, and he works as a janitor, and you have to do his night shift. And you know, when the night comes, you turn into a werewolf, and at every time you have to be stealthy, try not to kill anyone in order to get a better paycheck at the end of the day. But the choice is yours. You can either choose to kill or be stealthy. But overall, it's a very nice little single player game with a very unique taste, and a lot of people seem to loving it right now. Game is having overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam with more than 3000 plus reviews, and also a pretty easy game to run even if you have a pretty basic system. Indigo Park Chapter 1 is another awesome adventure first-person game that you might want to check out right now, and it's a very immersive first-person horror slash exploration type of a game that take you on a thrilling journey inside this abandoned amusement park. And as the player, you have to step into the shoes of this adventurer and uncover all the mysteries hidden inside this place. It does seem like a pretty cool casual kind of a game, but there is a definite atmospheric horror element attached to it. It's pretty creepy sometimes to give you a very thrilling experience, something you have to experience yourself. The game is super popular right now with overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, so you might want to check out the game if you enjoy this type of horror adventure titles. If you're someone who loves playing racing slash simulation style of games, I got a brand new game for you, and that is called Screwdrivers. This racing game is heavily focused on crazy realistic physics and high-speed races, and on top of all that, you can craft your own vehicle cleverly with combining different building blocks and mechanical parts, which is really cool in my opinion. By completing races, you can unlock different parts, you can upgrade your ride, you can earn gold, and also you can challenge other friends online for a thrilling PvP multiplayer racing action. Definitely a fun racing game. I would highly recommend you guys to try the game out right now. Nightmare Kart is another brand new free-to-play Souls-like racing game that actually released a couple of weeks ago onto the Steam, but the game is extremely popular right now on Steam in terms of reviews, having close to like 4,000, and they're overwhelmingly positive. It's a very old school horror theme, vehicular combat style of a game that actually has pretty fast-paced combat and 90s style classic gothic art style. And right now the game represents various type of game modes alongside 12 different vehicles with wielding powerful weapons, and you can use them at the right time to get a very significant advantage against other opponents. It's a very unique style of a racing game that you can enjoy completely solo, single player, or you can play with your friends on split screen. And also, you don't have to have a powerful PC to play this game. You can definitely enjoy with a pretty potato system. If you're looking for an extremely fun co-op game to play with your friends, look no further than our next game, and it's a brand new title called Sneak Out. And as a player, you have to enter this haunted castle and prepare to hunt, hide, and prank your friends, and at the same time try to win this deadly game called Hide and Seek. It's an online multiplayer slash co-op game, meaning you need to have a bunch of friends to get the best out of this, and you can play with up to 6 of them online. Despite having mixed reviews on Steam, I would still say it's a great game to check out right now, especially if you're into these type of multiplayer slash co-op titles. Alright, moving on at number 5, we we got one of the most interesting and very impressive looking single player games that I've seen recently on Steam, and that is a game called Sheepy: A Short Adventure. It's an incredibly well made free to play 2D action platformer where you play as the cute little abandoned plushie called Sheepy. The game has a very nice single player story, great level design, and also the soundtrack is just absolutely amazing, and also it has a very well made handcrafted pixelated art style which I'm a big fan of. My only downside with the game right now is just being too short. It only takes you about a couple of hours to complete, but nevertheless it's a very impressive single player game that you definitely want to check out right now. Moving on, next up we got a couple of awesome games that just got released, and the first one is called The First Descendant. It's a free to play third person looter shooter style of a game that built upon the brand new Unreal Engine 5, and I gotta mention the visuals, the graphics, the animation, the cutscenes look absolutely stunning in this game. In this game you play as different descendants whose fight for the survival of humanity, and you can choose between various type of descendant, each comes with a unique set of skills and abilities, and it's a game that you can play both single player as well as 4-player co-op. I had the chance to play the game back in like closed beta stage, and I gotta say I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the game. I would give like solid 7 out of 10. Even though the game is sitting at mixed reviews on Steam, it's extremely popular right now, having close to like 250,000 daily concurrent players. So overall it's a very solid game to check out right now, and also the overall system requirements are very much acceptable. Another brand new free to play game that just got released is the Zenless Zone Zero, and right now it's very much popular on every single platform. It's a brand new urban fantasy action RPG with your favorite characters from the Holoverse, and if you ever played other games like Honkai Star Rail, Honkai Impact 3D, and you're probably familiar with all of the universe and the characters, and it's a completely single player game, but I still haven't got the chance to check out the game myself. It's super popular right now, but you only find the game on Epic Games Store if you're playing the game on PC. At number 2 we got another pretty popular game that recently got announced during the Summer Game Fest, and that is a brand new free to play title called Dark and Darker. It's a pretty hardcore fantasy dungeon PvP/PvE first person adventure game where you can build your own unique character and also team up with your friends and explore these massive underground dungeons. And along the way you will have to fight against various type of enemies, monsters and bosses, and at the same time try to avoid all the treasure hunters try to take you down. The game is also very popular right now on Steam, having close to like 40,000 daily players, and also overall reviews are mostly positive. Great game to check out right now if you're looking for a fun first person action title. Alright, moving on at number 1, we got probably one of my favorite game to play right now, and that is the X-Defiant, a brand new free to play arcade first person shooter from Ubisoft. It's a really fun arcade shooter just like Call of Duty, and if you're ever playing $60-$70 for a Call of Duty game, this is a great free to play alternative that you definitely want to check out. And it recently got a massive season 1 update with brand new rank mode, another new faction from the game Rainbow Six Siege, and also a brand new battle pass that you can grind and unlock levels. It's a really fun arcade shooter to check out right now. It's completely free to play and you can download the game on Ubisoft Connect as well as on Epic Games Store. Well, there you have it guys, 20 of the amazing brand new free to play titles that released in the early half of 2024, and I gotta say all of these games are my personal recommendations, and if you got any more suggestions definitely let us know down in the comment section as well. And we also got some amazing free to play games coming up in the second half of 2024, so definitely go ahead and subscribe and stay tuned to the channel because we cover brand new free to play games released on every single month. So I catch you guys soon in the next one. Stay safe.